The law of gender. Balancing masculine and feminine energies. Ciro Irmici. Copyright 2024 Ciro Irmici. All rights reserved. Understanding the law of gender, balancing masculine and feminine energies. In our fast-paced modern world, many people feel a persistent imbalance in their lives, whether it be in their relationships, their work, or their sense of self. Often, this imbalance can be traced back to a misalignment of two universal forces that exist within all of us, the masculine and the feminine energies. These energies, often misunderstood or oversimplified, are not about gender in the traditional sense, but rather represent fundamental principles that shape the way we interact with the world and with ourselves. The law of gender, one of the Seven Hermetic Principles, teaches us that everything in the universe contains both masculine and feminine energies. These energies are present in nature, in the cosmos, and in each of us, regardless of our biological sex. The masculine energy is often associated with qualities such as action, logic, and structure, while the feminine embodies intuition, creativity, and receptivity. Neither is superior to the other, they are complementary, and it is their harmonious interplay that leads to balance, fulfillment, and personal growth. In this book, we will explore what it means to balance these energies within ourselves. You will learn how the masculine and feminine forces show up in your everyday life, and how recognizing, nurturing, and harmonizing them can lead to a more fulfilling and integrated existence. Whether you're someone who feels out of sync with your own emotions, or you're searching for more meaningful relationships and work-life balance, this exploration of the law of gender offers powerful insights and practical tools for realignment. We will dive into ancient wisdom and contemporary thought, looking at how these energies manifest in both personal and collective experiences. Through the lens of spirituality, psychology, and self-awareness, we will uncover how to heal imbalances, how to empower both your masculine and feminine sides, and how to live a life that is grounded, purposeful, and aligned with the natural rhythm of the universe. By the end of this journey, you will have a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. You will see that balance is not something to be achieved through extremes, but rather through harmony and integration. With this knowledge, you'll be equipped to create a life that reflects both your inner power and your inner peace. Welcome to the exploration of the law of gender, where true balance lies not in choosing one energy over the other, but in embracing both as essential parts of who you are. The foundations of universal laws. The Seven Hermetic Principles and the role of the law of gender. To truly understand the law of gender and how it affects our lives, we must first explore the broader framework in which it exists, the Seven Hermetic Principles. These principles, derived from ancient wisdom teachings, are believed to govern the workings of the universe. They offer us insights into how energy flows, how life evolves, and how we, as individuals, can align ourselves with these forces to live more harmoniously. The Seven Hermetic Principles, the Hermetic teachings, originate from ancient Egypt, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a legendary figure whose wisdom transcended time. His insights were later compiled into what is known as the Kybalion, a text that outlines these seven universal laws. Each of these laws interacts with the others, forming a cohesive system that explains the nature of existence. Here's a brief overview of each. 1. The principle of mentalism. This law states that the all is mind, and that the universe itself is mental in nature. Everything we perceive and experience originates from thought and consciousness. Our reality is shaped by our minds, and through mastering our thoughts, we can change our external world. 2. The principle of correspondence. As above, so below, as below, so above. This principle teaches that patterns repeat across all levels of existence. What happens on a small scale mirrors what occurs on a grand scale, and vice versa. This interconnection helps us understand the unity of the cosmos. 3. The principle of vibration. According to this law, everything is in constant motion. Every particle, every atom, every thought vibrates at its own frequency. By raising our vibrations through positive thoughts, actions, and emotions, we align ourselves with higher states of being. 4. The principle of polarity. This principle states that everything has its opposite, light and dark, hot and cold, male and female. These opposites are two extremes of the same thing, and the key to mastery lies in understanding and balancing them. 5. The principle of rhythm. Life is cyclical, moving in phases and patterns. The principle of rhythm teaches us that for every rise, there is a fall, and for every high point, a low will follow. Understanding this natural flow allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. 6. The principle of cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance, every action has a reaction. This principle reminds us that our choices create ripples, both seen and unseen. By becoming aware of the causes we set into motion, we can better control the effects in our lives. 7. The principle of gender. The seventh principle, and the one we will explore in depth throughout this book, asserts that gender is present in everything. Masculine and feminine energies exist not only in humans, but also in every aspect of the natural world. These forces are necessary for creation, growth, and balance. How the law of gender fits into universal law. The law of gender is perhaps one of the most misunderstood of these 7 principles. Often, people equate gender with biological sex or societal roles, but the Hermetic interpretation is far more profound. According to this principle, gender is a universal force that exists in everything, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy. These forces are not tied to male or female bodies, but are instead aspects of energy and consciousness. The masculine energy is the dynamic, active, and outward-pushing force. It is associated with logic, structure, and the drive to create. Think of it as the doing energy, the part of us that plans, organizes, and takes action in the world. On the other hand, the feminine energy is the receptive, intuitive, and nurturing force. It is connected to creativity, empathy, and the ability to flow with life. The feminine energy is the being energy, the part of us that reflects, feels, and cultivates inner wisdom. While each of us contains both of these energies, society often encourages an imbalance, pushing people to favor one over the other. Many cultures reward the masculine traits of action and productivity, while undervaluing the feminine traits of intuition and emotional intelligence. However, to live a truly fulfilled life, we must learn to honor both energies and bring them into balance. Why balance is essential. In nature, we see that life itself depends on the balance between masculine and feminine forces. From the reproduction of plants and animals to the cycles of the moon and sun, the dance between these energies is what sustains growth and harmony. Similarly, in our personal lives, imbalance leads to disharmony. For example, when someone operates primarily from masculine energy, constantly doing, pushing, and seeking control, they may achieve external success, but at the cost of emotional exhaustion or a lack of connection to their inner self. On the other hand, someone who is overly immersed in feminine energy might be deeply in tune with their emotions and creativity, but they could struggle with setting boundaries or taking action when needed. The key lies in recognizing when we are overemphasizing one energy and underutilizing the other. By cultivating awareness of these patterns, we can restore balance, leading to more fulfilling relationships, a deeper sense of peace, and greater success in our endeavors. The law of gender, as part of the Hermetic framework, is not merely about understanding masculine and feminine traits. It's about recognizing that these energies exist in every aspect of life and learning how to balance them within ourselves. As we continue through this book, we will explore how these forces play out in our thoughts, emotions, relationships, and even society at large. What is the law of gender? Understanding masculine and feminine energies, at its core, the law of gender is about balance, a concept that transcends traditional notions of gender identity or societal roles. It speaks to the fundamental forces of creation, growth, and harmony that exist in every aspect of life. Whether we look at the structure of atoms, the cycles of nature, or human behavior, we see these dual energies at work, masculine and feminine, active and receptive, logical and intuitive. Yet this balance is often misunderstood or oversimplified. To truly grasp the law of gender, we need to redefine what we think of as masculine and feminine. These energies are not tied to biological sex or rigid gender norms, they are universal forces that exist in everyone and everything. By recognizing these energies within ourselves and learning how to harmonize them, we unlock the potential for growth, creativity, and fulfillment in all areas of our lives. The nature of masculine and feminine energies. The masculine energy is outward-facing, dynamic, and focused on action. It is the driving force behind our ambitions, our ability to think logically, and our desire to achieve. It's often characterized by qualities such as decisiveness, strength, and independence. When we tap into our masculine energy, we feel confident in our ability to shape the world around us, to set goals, and to take charge of situations. This energy is essential for creating structure and pursuing our ambitions. On the other hand, the feminine energy is inward-facing, reflective, and nurturing. It is connected to our intuition, creativity, and emotions. Feminine energy allows us to flow with life rather than trying to control it, and it's often associated with empathy, sensitivity, and a deep connection to the self. When we embrace our feminine side, we're able to listen to our inner wisdom, adapt to change, and nurture ourselves and others. This energy fosters creativity, emotional depth, and the ability to heal. Both of these energies are equally important, and both are present in all of us. However, the modern world often emphasizes masculine traits, action, productivity, and logic, while undervaluing the feminine qualities of reflection, intuition, and creativity. The result is that many people feel disconnected from their deeper emotional selves, or out of balance with their inner rhythms. Common misconceptions. One of the most significant misunderstandings about the law of gender is the assumption that masculine energy is exclusive to men and feminine energy is exclusive to women. This couldn't be further from the truth. Every person, regardless of their gender identity, embodies both masculine and feminine energies. These energies are not confined to biological sex, but rather are expressions of universal forces. Another common misconception is that one energy is better than the other. In many societies, masculine energy is often praised for its focus on achievement and control, while feminine energy is sometimes seen as passive or weak. But in reality, both energies are vital for a balanced, harmonious life. Masculine energy gives us the strength to take action and overcome challenges, while feminine energy provides the emotional depth and creativity needed for long-term fulfillment. When one energy is suppressed or overemphasized, imbalance occurs. For example, someone who relies too heavily on their masculine energy might become rigid, overly controlling, or disconnected from their emotions. They may struggle with burnout, or feel an underlying sense of dissatisfaction despite their achievements. Conversely, someone who is overly reliant on feminine energy may struggle to set boundaries, take decisive action, or assert their needs, leading to feelings of stagnation or helplessness. The goal is not to prioritize one energy over the other, but to create a dynamic balance that allows for the fluid interplay of both forces. The law of gender teaches us that true strength lies in this integration. Recognizing these energies in your life, understanding the law of gender begins with recognizing how these energies manifest in your own life. Think about moments when you felt decisive, driven, or goal-oriented. These are times when your masculine energy was in full force. On the other hand, recall moments when you were deeply creative, emotionally attuned, or reflective. These experiences reflect the presence of your feminine energy. In any given day, we naturally shift between these two energies. For example, you might tap into your masculine energy when solving a problem at work, using logic and determination to get things done. Later, when spending time with loved ones or engaging in a creative hobby, you may shift into a more feminine energy, allowing yourself to feel, connect, and create without a specific outcome in mind. The key to living in harmony with the law of gender is not to force one energy or suppress the other, but to develop the awareness of when each energy is needed. Sometimes, life requires decisive action, focus, and logic. This is when masculine energy serves us best. Other times, we need to be receptive, patient, and intuitive, leaning into our feminine energy to navigate the unknown or foster deep connections. The importance of balance. The law of gender shows us that balance is not about equal amounts of masculine and feminine energy at all times. Instead, it's about the ability to fluidly shift between these energies as circumstances demand. There will be moments in life where action and decisiveness are necessary, and moments where receptivity and reflection are required. Both energies have their place, and both are vital to our well-being. When we learn to balance these forces, we become more adaptable, resilient, and whole. We can harness the drive and strength of our masculine energy without becoming overly rigid or disconnected from our emotions. At the same time, we can embrace the emotional depth and creativity of our feminine energy without losing our ability to act and assert ourselves when needed. This balance isn't just important on an individual level, it's essential for society as a whole. When entire cultures overemphasize masculine traits like competition and control, we see a rise in stress, conflict, and inequality. By contrast, when societies nurture feminine qualities like empathy, collaboration, and creativity, we see greater harmony, innovation, and social progress. Just as individuals need balance, so too does the collective. In the following chapters, we'll explore how you can actively work to balance these energies in your own life. We'll look at how masculine and feminine forces influence your relationships, your work, and your inner self. You'll learn practical techniques for cultivating both energies, allowing you to live with more purpose, fulfillment, and harmony. The law of gender is not about choosing one energy over the other, it's about learning to honor both. By embracing these universal forces, you will not only find balance within yourself, but also align with the natural flow of the universe, leading to a life of greater peace and joy. The masculine energy. Understanding the active, dynamic force within, masculine energy, at its essence, represents the active, dynamic, and outward driving force of life. It is the energy of action, decision-making, and structure. In our daily lives, this energy shows up as the ability to take charge, to strategize, and to create tangible results. Whether we recognize it or not, masculine energy plays a critical role in how we pursue our goals, overcome challenges, and assert our place in the world. However, this energy is often misunderstood. Many people associate masculinity strictly with men, but the truth is that this energy exists in everyone, regardless of gender. It is not about being manly or fitting into traditional roles of masculinity. Rather, it is about recognizing the qualities of masculine energy within ourselves, those qualities that propel us forward, help us take control, and give shape to our ideas. The nature of masculine energy is often described as linear and focused. It thrives in a goal-oriented mindset, where the steps between point A and point B are clear and deliberate. This energy enjoys direction and thrives in environments where action is necessary. It's the driving force that allows us to move from intention to reality. For example, consider the process of building a house. The initial creative idea, the vision for what the house could look like, is more aligned with feminine energy. But it's masculine energy that draws the blueprint, lays the foundation, and constructs the walls. It's about taking the abstract and turning it into something concrete. Masculine energy is also deeply tied to logic and reasoning. It values structure and order, seeking to create systems that make sense, solve problems, and bring clarity to chaos. In this sense, it provides the foundation for productivity and achievement, making it a crucial aspect of how we function in the world. The strength of action and leadership. One of the defining traits of masculine energy is its affinity for action. It drives us to take the steps necessary to reach our goals. When we're in our masculine energy, we are decisive, assertive, and confident. We feel empowered to take control of situations and lead with purpose. This doesn't mean that masculine energy is about domination or aggression, as it's often stereotyped. True masculine energy is more about assertive leadership, the ability to take charge without overpowering others, to create structure without being rigid. It's about having the courage to make decisions and the clarity to follow through on them. Consider the qualities of effective leaders. They are typically decisive, driven, and focused. They inspire action in others, organize efforts towards a shared vision, and ensure that things move forward. These are all expressions of masculine energy, regardless of whether the leader is male or female. The ability to harness this energy allows people to manage their lives with intention, to move toward their goals, and to make things happen. The role of boundaries and discipline. Another important aspect of masculine energy is the creation of boundaries. Just as the walls of a house provide structure and protection, masculine energy helps us set clear limits, both for ourselves and in our relationships with others. Boundaries are vital for maintaining balance in life, ensuring that we don't spread ourselves too thin or allow others to take advantage of our time and energy. In this sense, masculine energy promotes discipline. It teaches us the value of commitment, responsibility, and perseverance. When we engage our masculine energy, we find it easier to stay focused on our objectives, to push through challenges, and to maintain consistency over time. This discipline can be applied in many areas of life, whether it's sticking to a fitness routine, managing our finances, or working towards a professional goal. Without boundaries, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or lose sight of what's important. Masculine energy reminds us that in order to achieve anything, we must first set clear parameters for how we use our time, energy, and resources. The potential for imbalance. While masculine energy is incredibly valuable, too much of it can lead to imbalance. In a society that often celebrates productivity and achievement above all else, it's common for people to become overly reliant on their masculine energy. When this happens, we may find ourselves becoming rigid, overly controlling, or disconnected from our emotions. Overemphasizing masculine energy can result in burnout. If we're constantly in doing mode, always striving, pushing, and achieving, we may neglect the need to rest, reflect, and simply be. The drive to always be productive can lead to stress and anxiety, as we place unrealistic expectations on ourselves to keep going without pause. Moreover, an excess of masculine energy can cause us to become overly competitive or aggressive. In relationships, it may manifest as a need to dominate or control, rather than cooperate and connect. When we rely too much on masculine energy, we risk losing touch with our emotional intelligence, intuition, and creativity, the very qualities that come from our feminine side. Restoring balance, honoring both energies, to live in harmony, it's essential to balance the masculine and feminine energies within us. While masculine energy drives us to take action and achieve, feminine energy reminds us to pause, reflect, and nurture ourselves. It's this balance that allows us to be both productive and at peace, both powerful and compassionate. When we recognize the need for balance, we can begin to shift our focus. We can honor our masculine energy by taking decisive action and setting boundaries, while also allowing space for feminine energy to flow, through creativity, intuition, and connection with others. For example, after a long period of focused work, a masculine trait, it's important to step back and engage in self-care or creative expression, feminine traits. This might mean taking time to meditate, connect with loved ones, or simply rest. It's in this ebb and flow that we find true balance, where both energies support and enhance each other. Masculine energy plays an essential role in how we navigate the world. It helps us take charge, create structure, and achieve our goals. Yet, like any energy, it must be balanced with its counterpart, the feminine. Too much masculine energy can lead to rigidity, stress, and disconnection from our deeper emotional needs. By honoring both energies within ourselves, we can live more fully and harmoniously. In the next chapter, we will explore feminine energy in greater depth, examining how it complements the masculine and why it's equally vital for a balanced, fulfilling life.